Hello, everyone, and welcome back to It All Starts With a Wish podcast. My name is Rachel.
And I'm Mark. And a very Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Sorry we missed you last week.
We did.
It was a busy holiday week.
As you can imagine, it was the weekend before Christmas, and it just, holiday parties and life events and things, We didn't get around to recording, and we didn't have anything in the hopper, so to speak. So yeah, it did not happen. So our sincerest apologies, but also we kind of figured that it was the Monday, literally 2 days before Christmas, and that not many of you were probably going to listen to that episode the week of Christmas.
Maybe you were busy too.
I'm sure you were.
Yeah. Lots of last minute shopping and meal prepping.
We figured it wouldn't be a big deal because people had other things on their mind that was not
It's
us.
not at all that we forgot.
It did lead us to some, conversation and some thought about how we want to move forward with the podcast too, and whether or not we want to do more of a seasonal thing and maybe mix up the format, and maybe every Monday isn't the smartest play, or maybe it is. I don't know. We're open to your feedback too, though. So if you are a religious listener to our episode every Monday, and that is what you want to see us continue to do, let us know. Send us an email or message us through our social media accounts. I think that we want to continue to build the podcast and to do more with it. But is there better ways of doing it? So we're open to other people's opinions and thoughts on that. So let us know, definitely, how you would like to see the podcast.
Yeah, I definitely think that a future, goal, I think, of ours is to, hopefully eventually be, big enough and or have enough time to video these as well, even if it's it's just us talking. Yeah. But that would be pretty cool too to do on YouTube.
We also have on YouTube. We already have an account set up on YouTube. We just never have posted.
It's a lot with the video editing, and we're new to this kind of stuff, and we don't really have the best place to record video and.
Well, but I'm just saying to just put the audio.
Oh, yeah.
I listen to a lot of podcasts on YouTube, and I drive in the car, and I don't watch the audio.
Yeah.
So I think just putting the audio up there, too, would be beneficial for people who do that, like I do.
Yeah, so we're playing around with things. We're learning all of this stuff, so...
But yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
What your thoughts are. Send us an email at startswithawish.podcast@gmail.com. Or message us through our social media accounts, and we'll see that. So definitely let us know. And as we continue to try to build this audience and this podcast, apparently you leaving good reviews on Apple Podcast or Spotify, those are valuable ways to help us to get out to more people. If they see a lot of good reviews and stuff like that, they send it out to more people and changes.
Like, follow, share.
All that kind of stuff. So
share it on your social media.
You may not be able to though, on certain podcast apps.
No, I know.
So,
but commenting, rating.
Yeah, it just depends on the platform. So know the platform that you're using. Anything that you can do,
please do it.
Yeah. Tell your friends, too, even just word of mouth, all that kind of stuff.
Even, sharing to a story or tagging us in something on social media, things like that gets our name out there, but definitely commenting and liking. I think that, following, definitely on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, you can follow us and you'll get updates when we post stuff. But yeah, all of that fun stuff. Yeah. But, without further ado, we're going to jump in from our last episode, and we did our best and worst of quick service by park in our last episode. We're going to now do sit down dining restaurants in each park. Best and worst.
Yeah. So I have a dad joke.
Oh, God. I was trying to avoid that, actually.
What kind of... And it's actually very thematic, so it works.
Great. Good.
What kind of food should you eat to increase your vision?
Carrots.
Seafood.
Carrots.
Seafood.
All right, fine. Okay. Very funny.
I know
we have to get down to business. Let's get down to business. Are you even like a real millennial Disney fan if you don't say that every single time someone says that? because I do. All right. Best and worst. Can we start at Magic Kingdom?
Sure. You can start wherever you want.
Okay.
This is going to be controversial. I can already tell you that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay. I'm going to...
Should we didn't do this, though.
Oh, what?
So you should inform people what does table service, just in case they didn't listen to the last episode.
Yes,
the last
you're
episode,
right.
we did counter service.
You're right.
What does table
so
service
we did
mean?
quick service last time, which is your grab and go up to a counter. You know, you kind of mobile order, you grab it, eat on a trash can, eat on a nearby table. Think of it as fast food. You walk up to a counter and you order. These are actual sit-down restaurants where you are waited upon. So the biggest difference between quick service and table service is that you're actually getting that wait service, where they take your order, bring out your meal, all that jazz. Most of these do require a 60-day mark reservation. You definitely want to get, especially in Magic Kingdom, reservations are recommended for a sit-down and table service restaurants. So, I feel like there are some places personally in Magic Kingdom that we have, or I have, I can't say we because I'm not sure about you, but I have never eaten at. Like the Diamond Horseshoe. I have never eaten there.
Well, but the Diamond Horseshoe used to be kind of its own unique experience, and now a lot of it is pretty much just Liberty Tree Tavern's food. So,
but I'm just saying there are some things on here that I feel like I really can't say for sure because like I haven't eaten at them. But for my best, it's going to be Liberty Tree Tavern.
You know, I'm going to second that too. And I know that not everybody is a huge fan of Liberty Tree Tavern, but I just think it is like the perfect theming for the land in which it's in.
Yes.
It's in Liberty Square. The early Americana, colonial kind of feel that's in there. The different themed rooms to the different founding fathers and mothers. There's a Betsy Ross room, so I throw in founding mothers too. But just the food is, I think, something that everybody in your family is going to like something there. I think that it has a wide appeal. Even if you don't like turkey or whatever, you have mac and cheese. You have mashed potatoes.
The mashed potatoes, man.
You have stuffing.
The green beans. I'll always say that on this podcast, that the green beans are so... If I could take whatever green beans they have and whatever stuff they cook them with, like the butter and the seasoning, and like if I could just take exactly what they do, I would probably eat green beans every single day.
Wow.
I know I really would. I mean, they probably take the healthy out of it with the amount of butter and stuff in it, so that probably wouldn't be good.
Sure.
But yeah, I agree. I feel like this is kind of looked over because, it's like traditional American Thanksgiving food. Like, I want something different. But
even like the pot roast is delicious. The salad, that dressing,
you
that
always
vinaigrette
say the
on the salad.
I say the green beans. He says the salad.
So good.
Yeah.
But you have your dinner rolls, and I do not think anybody should ever sleep on the fact that you have what I will argue is one of the best desserts in all of Walt Disney World with the ooey gooey toffee cake.
That is really good.
Delicious.
Like you kind of don't want it to end, but it is really, really sweet. So
you may hear that
really
name
rich.
And be like, I don't think I would like that.
No,
I think almost everybody.
It's not what it... The toffee... threw me the first time because I was like, I don't know, not really like that big of a toffee fan, but it's not. You just have to experience it, truly. Okay, this one I feel like could be a toss-up for my worst.
So I do want to also just point out before we do that, before we leave, you will spend anywhere. It is a little bit of a pricey restaurant.
It is.
So you're going to spend anywhere from $35 to $59 for this. So you can order, I believe it's called a la carte.
Yeah.
Where you can select off of a menu what you want. Or you can do the
family style.
The family style dinner, which comes out with your traditional Thanksgiving stuff.
I feel like most people do that.
Will cost $44 per person.
It's so much food though, and they keep refilling it.
And it does include fountain beverages and drinks too. So bear that in mind. Specialty cocktails you're gonna have to pay extra for. But it does include your fountain beverages and stuff like that in that price.
Yeah.
So when all is said and done, and you really consider, how much food that you get, it's really not that bad of a deal at $44 and $24 per child, too.
And I really think even for kids, like we said before, I think this is a good all-around option because there's mac and cheese, there's potatoes, like, it's stuff they'll eat, the bread and butter, like, even if it's, not the meat that they're into or the vegetables, they still have plenty of starches to pick from.
Yes. And there are good meat-based items, too. You can do a Patriots platter with a plant-based version, too, where there's an Impossible meatloaf, and you still get the mashed potatoes and a mushroom gravy and your seasoned vegetables. And you get a warm apple cake. Johnny Appleseed's warm apple cake. So,
wow.
Anyways, Liberty Tree Tavern. I think it's well worth it. You're definitely going to want to get reservations for this location if you're planning on going there, especially if you're going around the holiday season this time of year. It is a fan favorite.
Everyone wants a holiday dinner.
They do. Just beware if you go in the summer, it can be heavy. It's a lot of food that you're going to eat. Do you want to walk in a theme park at 100 degrees after eating all of that food? That's something you have to decide. But just bear that in mind.
That's true. Okay, so, worst. I feel like this is a toss-up. Maybe they're kind of equal. That's why I say that. But, and this is only because this is the only one I've eaten at, is the Plaza restaurant.
Really?
I'm not a huge... I remember not being a huge fan of it. Personally, not a favorite. I don't think I'd be like, oh my gosh, we need to go to the Plaza restaurant or Tony's Town Square.
Oh, Tony's, yeah.
I don't feel like I would go out of my way for either of those, which is why they're in my bottom, and I just wouldn't... I don't even really think of them, honestly. I forget that they're there. Because they don't stand out to me.
Yeah, so the Plaza is Americana, kind of very much like a early 20th century feel to that restaurant. They have a lot of milkshakes and other things. I've always kind of enjoyed it there, and I find it quite affordable. And if you can get seats with views, it is right at the end of Main Street, and you do have some pretty cool views of the castle. But I do understand that I don't know if it's going to knock your socks off. It's kind of like a last resort
type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'd be like, oh, I really need an advanced dining reservation for this place.
Sure.
But if you put your name in, you can put your name in and they kind of have a wait time. Yeah. Depending on how long the wait is, I could definitely see doing this. If you were kind of like, oh, I'd rather sit down and have a cheeseburger. Or it gives soda shop vibes.
Yeah, very much so.
The ice cream parlor's right next door. Upscale, though, yeah. Like a nice kind of diner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Tony's Town Square is Italian food, and this is at the opposite end of Main Street, right at the entrance to the park. And I do think that there are some redeeming qualities with there's a patio seating, so if it's not super hot out, you can sit and you can actually time it right and watch the parade go by in the afternoon. So it's not a horrible location. I think the theming inside of there is pretty cool, too. Yeah. It's Lady and the Tramp themed. It has perennially had problems, though, with the quality of food.
Yeah.
I just think that Italian people have very high standards for.
Yeah, it's not a Via Napoli.
So it's tough to meet those high standards. But I will say that many of the vloggers, and we have not eaten there.
No, I haven't. That's why I said that.
So you have to take that caveat on it, because we could go there and we may actually really enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah.
But many vloggers that we watch have had much more positive reviews.
Yes, I feel like
there's a new chef and there's a new menu and things are...
It's been on the up and up.
Getting better. Yeah.
I feel like it's
I do think it's kind of mediocre.
Yeah, I just feel
Italian
like it's
food still, but
I don't know if I would do it.
Both of those are interesting options. Yeah, I would not necessarily...
I'm interested to see what your worst is. Disagree. If you think mine are weird.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with either. Like, that's not... I'm not going to go to for the Plaza, or I'm not going to go to for the Tony's Town
What's
Square.
Your worst?
But if there is availability at either of those, I don't know that they're like awful to go eat at. And I
No,
would
they're
say
not.
that they're
But I'm saying if
relatively
there's like a
affordable.
wait of like 20 minutes, I'd be like, all right, yeah, like we
Yeah.
can go there. But like, some people wait like hours.
I'm not going
I
out of
feel
my
like.
way
Yeah.
to make a reservation there, but if I'm walking by and they have availability, maybe I'd go in. My worst, and this is going to be very controversial, so...
I can already tell you what it is. Can I
what is
guess?
it? Yeah.
Be our guest.
Yeah. Be our guest.
Wow.
And I'm going to say that this has evolved over time and this has changed.
Yeah.
And I know there are 1,001 people that will look at you and be like, oh, you got to go and eat a Be Our Guest. You got to go there. You just got to go there. It's so
it's
cool.
the experience.
Thematically, I'm not going to deny that. It is awesome. It's an amazing restaurant. If you stay in the main gallery area and you look out the windows and you can see it snowing outside, and then if you go into like the West Wing room, it is the West Wing, right?
Rose, yeah.
Or is it the East Wing?
No, it's the West Wing.
See, that always messes me up though, because there was the TV show, The West Wing, about the White House.
Oh.
And I'm like, am I thinking of that?
No,
or am
it's
I
the
thinking
West.
of...
It's the West Wing.
Yeah, you look
Do
that
I have
up
to
while
look
I'm
it up?
talking. Yeah.
Okay.
You go on your computer and you look that up while I'm talking. Anyways, but you can see the enchanted rose as it's falling. Thematically, this is a very, very cool restaurant. And I want with all my heart to tell people that you must eat there. I really do. I want to be like, you have to eat there. Here's my problem with it. I don't think the food is very good. And it's going to cost you $72 per adult to eat there, and $43 per child to eat there. And bear in mind, this is not a character dining experience. You get to meet the beast,
Yes.
but that's it. You're not meeting a whole bunch of characters like you are usually.
Yeah, no.
And normally when you pay those prices, you are
Calm down.
seeing characters at it. And you're just not seeing that at this restaurant.
Yeah.
And I don't think that food is that good that it warrants paying $72 per adult just for the theme.
Yeah.
Now, this is where this transition has happened. There used to be a time when this restaurant for lunch
Yes.
had a
I know
different
where you're
menu.
going. Yes. Yes.
And it was sandwiches, and it was soups,
so good.
and it was delicious. And it was so much cheaper. And you only have to pay that $72
For dinner.
for the dinner experience. And they have taken that away from us. And the minute that they took away that option for lunch there,
Yeah.
the minute that it turned, because I think that the food at lunch was better than the food is at dinner.
Yeah. I was going to say that was really the only
And for
saving
half
grace.
the price.
Yeah.
And you got the same experience. You get to eat in one of those awesome rooms.
Yeah.
And the minute that
We were
changed
in like the
that,
library room for lunch that time.
Yeah, and then we ate in the main gallery too,
Yeah.
I think, for lunch too as well.
Yeah, lunch was
But
definitely
the last
better.
time that we went for dinner was with my niece.
Yeah.
For
So
one of her
expensive.
birthdays, and it was so expensive, and the food for
And
dinner
the kids
I just
didn't even
was
really
not.
eat. The kids didn't eat.
And they paid $43 per
Yeah.
kid. Like, the experience was great. My sister got a nice cake and everything, but for what it was, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah,
And so
I mean, I think if
when
you're a
people
really
say-
big Beauty and the Beast fan, I think it's worth it to go once to see it, to go inside, see it, experience it.
Just
I
pains
think
me
once is
because
enough.
I don't think it's worth the money at all.
At all?
And I wish Disney, if you're listening to this, please, I'm begging you, bring back that
they brought back the
a la
lunch, you're
carte
saying you would
lunch
go back?
option. Yes.
For sure.
Yes, because right now they're making you pay $72 to eat lunch there. There even was a breakfast there at one point that was
Yeah.
very similar to lunch. Bring that back.
Yeah.
It allows people who cannot pay the $72 for an adult and $43 for a kid who don't want to pay that for
still
what I think is not
experience it.
great food
Yeah.
to experience that.
Yeah.
If they brought that back, I would change this in a heartbeat. But right now, the way that it is, paying $72 for a lunch or a dinner there, for the food that you get, not worth it. So it is my worst. And I know that may be not a popular opinion.
Well, you were right about, well, I was right about the West Wing. So,
Oh, it is the West Wing.
it is West
Oh,
Wing.
okay. That's
yeah.
good.
It
to know.
doesn't sound as good to be like, don't go in the East Wing.
Well, I know, but that just, I think of the
West
TV
Wing.
show.
No, I know, but
Was
Anyways.
the TV show the East Wing?
I don't
No, I
know.
think that was the West Wing, too.
I have no idea. I didn't even know there was a TV show. Okay,
Yeah, it was about the White House. It was
let's
about the
move
president.
on.
Anyways.
Hollywood Studios.
Ooh, this one. Yeah.
This is really hard.
Yeah, because I'll start this with a just generic overall statement that And if you listen to our counter service one, you already heard this, but the food quality at Hollywood Studios is, yeah. And there are a few little shining gems in there, I think, that kind of stand up above. Oh, I wanted to mention an honorable mention in Magic Kingdom, and I forgot this, for the best.
Yeah.
Skipper Cantina.
Okay,
Honorable mention.
I knew that I was interested to see if you were going to put that as the best.
Tasty food and cheesy jokes.
I didn't.
Love it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Not my favorite, but I was wondering where you stood on that.
But Hollywood Studios in general, the food quality is not what it is at the other theme parks. Even at Magic Kingdom, I think the food quality is a little bit better than it is at Hollywood Studios.
I feel like,
with that being said,
we don't do a lot of sit down at Hollywood Studios, and it's
A,
not
because there's not a ton of options.
There's not a ton of options.
B,
but we've already kind of done them
once. Great.
Yeah, it's not that great, but we've also it's like a one and done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the food's not that great. Yeah, that's why it's a one and done.
No, I know, but that's the point. But that's what I'm saying. But it's like you do it once and then that's it. But then there's not many to choose from, so that goes really fast. You go through them very fast.
As the best for me, 50's Primetime Cafe. I think the theming in that restaurant is so cool. I think that the food quality, by and large, is good.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a really fun experience. All of the servers are your uncles and aunts, and they're going to give you a hard time about putting your elbows on the table and not using your proper manners. It's just a fun experience.
Your green beans.
And by and large, you will get good quality food there.
Yeah.
And I think at an affordable price, too. I think that's an important point. Because the Hollywood Brown Derby is definitely, the best restaurant in terms of, food quality and service. But it is expensive. This is a premier level restaurant, so you're going to pay more at the Hollywood Brown Derby than you will at 50's Primetime. And I just think that the atmosphere in general,
it gives
at
very
50's
quintessential Hollywood Studios
cool.
for me. Yeah, I feel like this is one of those restaurants that you've heard almost everyone talk about when they talk about eating at Hollywood Studios, because it does stick out with its theming. I would also put that one as the best. I haven't been to Hollywood Brown Derby. A little out of our price range. Hopefully someday I would like to eat at every restaurant, just to say that I have. But 50's Primetime, I think, good food for, a really cool theme and, good memories there. So I agree with 50's Primetime. Worst.
Hollywood and Vine.
Really?
Yeah. I think, so this is a buffet style dining experience. It is a character dining experience. Usually depends on what time of the year it is and what's happening seasonally. Sometimes you'll get Mickey and the gang dressed up in seasonal outfits. Sometimes at Halloween, they'll wear their Halloween costumes. They'll wear Christmas outfits for Christmas.
That's Disney Junior, right?
You also have Disney Junior characters at some points that are there in the experience. It's buffet style. I just don't think that the food quality is very good, and I don't think at the price point that you're paying for character, I think there's better ways to see characters. Now, granted, if you're going for the Disney Junior,
then this is
you may not see those characters anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I get why some people really want to do it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to see Vampirina anywhere else.
No.
Or whatever the heck her name is.
Yeah, I think that's it. Or Fancy Nancy and, all those people.
I just don't think that the food quality is very good for the price that you pay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So Hollywood and Vine would be my worst.
I haven't personally been there. You have. Mm-hmm. You have eaten there before. I have not. So I can't say. But I am going to go with Mama Melrose.
Ooh, yeah. That's another one that people...
Not that great Italian.
I will indicate too, I should have said this too for Hollywood and Vine, but you are looking at over $60 per adult for the character dining experience at Hollywood and Vine. Yeah. This is expensive.
Yeah, no, that's expensive.
So bear that in mind. I think it's expensive for the food that you get.
Where they get you, though, is that there are very specific characters that you cannot see any other time.
Sure.
And that's where they get you to go there, because that's the only really time that you're going to have, those interactions. Mm-hmm. But stop cutting me off with all this price talk.
Sorry. Well, but I think that's important when people make a decision. I think it plays a role in why we're picking what we're picking. So I like to point that out.
I know.
Go ahead.
Right.
Mama Melrose. Complain about it.
Just not very good Italian. Just not very good. It's been a while since I've eaten there. Obviously, we've eaten there one time, and then that was pretty much it. It gives very, like, small town Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not very good. Even, like, the theming. Like, it gives,
the theming's kind of cool.
Like, I get where they were going, but it gives me, like, basement vibes.
Yeah, and now it's just, I think, out of place.
Yeah.
I think that Hollywood Studios has evolved beyond what that theming was and what that part of the park was.
Just doesn't really make
And I
much
feel
sense.
like that part of the park is just such a forgotten piece until
is.
now with the new Monsters Inkland coming in, Monstropolis coming in.
I hope they do a hibachi.
Oh, yeah, like a sushi bar. yeah, that they eat at in the movie.
Really funny.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think
idea.
That would be really funny.
Yeah, with the
and
octopus
they could have the
with all the
octopus
different arms.
like animatronic. That would be really funny.
That would be actually
I don't
really
even
cool.
really eat sushi, but
Disney, are you listening? That'd be
I know.
very cool.
Hey.
Anyways, I think that part of the park is just so forgotten in a lot of ways. So I think Monstropolis coming will be cool. But
it will. I just think for the type of food that it was, I just remember not even really finishing it because I was like, it's just not that good. Like, and I feel like it's hard to mess up Italian.
Yeah, but I think Italian, is one of those things that's hard to mess up, but it's also really hard to be like really good.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
like it takes a lot for it to be top notch,
right?
But doesn't take that much for it to be not that good,
right?
Like just mediocre,
right?
Yeah.
And I think everybody eats so much Italian that's what's the.
That's true. It is it's a fan favorite in the America here, North America, fan favorite. We love our pasta.
In the United States, at least. We won't speak for Canada.
Yeah, that's right. We can't speak for Canada.
Who knows?
I don't know. If you're from Canada, let us know. Do you like pasta as much as we do here in New England? Because we like it. I do have to say, though, that this is just we haven't eaten here, but this is just literally from the clients that I've had that have eaten here, that it is not great, and that's Woody's Roundup Rodeo Barbecue.
Really?
Yeah. They said the experience was great, food not great. They'd rather go to Regal Eagle and have that over in Epcot or literally any other type of barbecue. Really? I know, however...
I want to try this on our next trip. This is one of the restaurants, though, that I have on the list. I want to do it. Okay,
so I do have to preface that these clients did go before they changed the menu over. Remember how everyone was kind of saying it wasn't that good, and then they kind of revamped the menu a little bit, and then it's like a little better, but I don't know. I've had at least 3 people tell me it's really, like, not it.
That's
like
surprising to me.
Yeah.
Because I've heard a lot of people say that good things about it, too.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. I want to try it. I think the theming is really cool. I think our son right now really likes Toy Story and Woody and Buzz, so I think it's definitely high on the list of just the experience of it. I think he would really like it. So even if we never eat there again, we should do it.
I think we need to try it.
Yeah.
It's on my list.
I just know that there's been some mixed reviews.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's Hollywood Studios. Moving on. Where are we going next?
Animal Kingdom.
Wow.
This one has really good food.
Very good food. Honestly, I don't know that I can tell you a worse than this one. I'm going to start there.
You're going to start with the worst?
On my list, it's blank.
You're like, I just don't know
what the worst
is.
I could not pick one.
Yeah.
When you look at the table service options in Animal Kingdom, I can't point at one and be like, that's absolutely the worst. What?
Do you want me to start with the worst?
Sure.
Rainforest Cafe.
Okay. But even that's not that bad.
Out of all the other ones?
Yes, it's the worst. But Rainforest Cafe is better than some of the best than some of the other parks.
Yeah, but we're saying for this park, though. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about individually the park.
I understand. I'm just saying that it's tough to pick a worst one. I will give you Rainforest Cafe. Not because Rainforest Cafe
it's not because it's
awful.
It's bad. It's just, it's a chain. You can go anywhere.
You can go anywhere. Yeah.
It's just, does it fit the theming? Yeah, of course it does. But, like, there's also one in Disney Springs. Like, there's 2. Like, I just don't think it's that... It's a cool experience, sure. But, like, a lot of people
you
really
can go
like
to them
Rainforest Cafe.
You can go to them all across the country, though. It's not a unique experience.
No, but I think, for the other things that they have at Animal Kingdom, I think it's kind of a waste to go to Rainforest Cafe. Unless you're doing
Right.
a different restaurant too.
100% agree
same
with
day.
that. 100% agree with that.
All right. Well, then what's your best one?
Yak and Yeti. Hands down.
Why do we have to match on
Oh,
everything?
because we're right. That's why. Yak and Yeti is fantastic. Yeah. And I do want to throw out an honorable mention for Tiffin's here.
Yes.
Tiffin's is a very high quality restaurant in Animal Kingdom. That also is worthy of note and has a lot of good food options. I just love Yak and Yeti. I think
it's just so good. I just never...
The price that you pay, the food that you get, again and again.
Mouth-watering.
Absolutely.
It's just so good.
I'm salivating right now.
Like, I never usually take leftovers, like, from restaurants, but, like, I take the noodles.
You gotta.
Those
noodles are delicious.
I take it with me. They're like, oh, you want to box? Yes, box it up. I have a microwave in my room. I will be eating those noodles later. I'm not throwing them away. They're mine.
But if you like any kind of Asian cuisine, you got tons of options here. Tons of options. And almost everything is phenomenal. And the Kobe beef burger, even the burger.
Even the burger.
Melts in your mouth.
I
never had a cheeseburger melt in my mouth. That Kobe beef burger melts in your mouth.
We say this a lot if you listen to us talk about eating Animal Kingdom, but even mention to Tusker House. It's a good buffet. It's a good character buffet. It's good. I mean, it's good. I would choose like Tusker House as like a top character, at least a breakfast.
Absolutely.
That I would definitely recommend to people. I think 100%. It's a really good tier.
100%.
There are other ones, like we've said, that
I think the most disappointing thing about Animal Kingdom is that all of the restaurants, whether it's counter or table service, are so good. You just can't always eat there.
Yeah.
And it's so far away from the other parks that it's tough to get there. Yeah. So, like, when you go there, all you want to do is just eat at all the good restaurants and nothing else.
Yeah. Like, it would be a lot to, like, eat at Satuli Canteen and then do dinner at, like, it's just not enough time in the day, and it closes early. Like, the park closes earlier than other things, so... It definitely warrants multiple trips, even if it's just half-day trips just to go eat there. People might be like, well, that's a waste. But, like, I probably would go out of the way if I knew that was the only time I could go to Yak and Yeti.
Get yourself a park hopper.
Yeah.
As people
just
up here
bounce
would say.
All around.
A park hopper. And you're going to go.
You can just walk in, go eat, and walk right back out.
Eat lunch.
That's why I always recommend the park hopper, too. Like, I just think it's kind of a no-brainer.
And then go somewhere else at night.
Yeah.
Like, get your lunch and...
It's so easy to, like, get around from park to park that I'm like, it's... People are like, you can do that? I feel like people, like, that aren't in, like, the Disney universe. Like, they don't know, like...
Right.
What it means, I guess? Or they think they have to stay, like, only until... Like, half day. I'm like, no, you can literally walk in a park.
Which, for a time there during COVID,
yes, there was a time. But how it should truly work and how it works now is that literally we stay at the beach club usually, and because we have a park hopper, we can just walk into Epcot, get fish and chips, and walk back out because we can get in.
Right.
Like, we don't have to actually, like, go to the park to actually stay there. So, worth it.
Very much so.
Animal Kingdom, just great. Just eat there.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that was a quick one. Here we go.
Epcot, last but not least.
Epcot. This is going to be hard.
Best?
Okay.
So best for me is Le Cellier Steakhouse in Canada.
Yes.
Really? An amazing experience. It is expensive. Be prepared for that. Know that it is an expensive experience.
Yeah, it is.
But
I've never been there.
It's a steakhouse, and if you love steak... This is your place, man.
This is it.
Go there.
Wow.
Some of the best steak I've ever had in my life at Le Cellier Steakhouse. Granted, there are other very good steakhouses like Shula's and other places in Walt Disney World. No,
this is just Epcot we're talking about.
But for Epcot, very good. Le Cellier, my choice for the best of the best in Epcot.
All right. I'm going to go with Via Napoli.
Some people would not agree. Some people don't like Via Napoli.
Okay, well, this is an in my opinion piece that we're doing right now. So, in my opinion, Via Napoli is the best. This is a toss-up.
I agree. Via Napoli is very
Via
good.
Napoli and Tapan Ito. And I only knocked Tapan Ito down
Tapan
because
Ito
they changed
is
the noodles.
The hibachi restaurant in Japan, if you're not aware. And Via Napoli is the restaurant in Italy.
they're two of my favorite food groups. Italian and Japanese. So it's a toss-up. I'm only knocking Teppan Ito down because they changed the noodles.
They did change the noodles.
Post-COVID.
And it's not as good.
It's not as good. If you're listening, like we always say, please just change it. Go back to the way it was. Please. But still very, very good. I would still say it's a very high on my list to go. But I would probably choose Via Napoli because of the noodle situation. But that's just me.
So Rachel's going with the pizza Via Napoli.
I'm going with the
Via Napoli.
Via Napoli. All right, worst.
Also a very good choice. I do love Via Napoli too, but I would say Le Cellier is the best. The worst for me is Nine Dragons. Nine Dragons is the sit-down restaurant in the China Pavilion.
Have you
and
even
here's
eaten
why.
there?
Here's why. Hear me out on this.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, have you ever eaten there?
Nine Dragons is Chinese food.
Yep.
And similar to our conversation about Italian, it's tough to not do Chinese food well, but it's also tough to really hit it out of the park.
Are you saying it's because it's more like the Americanized Chinese food?
In some ways,
that we think?
In some ways. But that's not my point. My point is
you're saying like you have to do
you can go
Chinese
to a Chinese
really
restaurant
like
almost anywhere in this country, and that is what that restaurant's on par with.
And it takes a lot for like a good Chinese restaurant to like stand out.
Correct. And when you can get middling Chinese food pretty much anywhere else in the country at the same quality as at Nine Dragons, whereas I can go and get a fantastic steak that I cannot get many other places in Canada, or I can go and get some of the best fish and chips I've ever eaten in England, or I can go and get fantastic French food at Monsieur Paul, or whatever have you.
So like of the countries, you're saying this is just like kind of your run-of-the-mill Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
That you'll find in the United States.
Yes.
Just not.
And I would not waste my time on it because you can get that quality Chinese food pretty much anywhere in the country.
Yeah. I haven't personally eaten there, but I've heard it's just kind of your standard Chinese food, so.
Right.
If you really have a hankering for fried rice, I mean, hey, go for it. You know? I just think there's a lot of other options there. I don't know because I feel like what I would pick is just food that I just don't like or eat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wouldn't personally eat there because, like, I'm not adventurous or, like, I don't know. Like, I just wouldn't eat there. But mine would be, like, Spice Road Table. I know. I've heard it's really, really good.
It is really good.
I'm nervous to try it.
Well, this is the tried and true story though with Rachel.
I know. Maybe I'm gonna just turn into a Mediterranean.
She never wants to eat anything, and then she tries it and then she likes it.
I'm afraid of spicy. What?
All I need to say is clam chowder.
Okay, fine, whatever. Anyway,
thought she was gonna hate it. She tried it once, then she loved it. So.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
And it's like any other food. If it's done well, then it's good. If it's not done well, then it's not good.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just saying, I guess the only other place, if I'm not doing...
Spice Road Table is in the Morocco Pavilion.
Yes, if I'm not doing like Spice Road Table, if I'm taking just because I don't like it or I haven't tried it off of the table in a place that I've actually eaten at that I'm just kind of like, it would be Coral Reef Restaurant.
Very cool atmosphere, but the food is...
I'm also not a fish person. I only got the one thing on the menu that's not seafood, so...
For those who are not aware, Coral Reef is in the Seas Pavilion, and one of the walls, a giant wall, is just is big glass windows into one of the massive fish tanks. So you have to watch the fish and the sharks and the turtles and everything swim by as you eat, which is very cool, and I thoroughly enjoyed going there. But I agree with Rachel that the food's just kind of...
It's just... like, we went there, you know, for like a date night type of thing, because... You know, it's a little more romantic. It's a little, like, cool experience for two people. And we got right by without even asking, we got right by the tank, which was really awesome. But, I mean, if you're not, even I feel like the people who are really into seafood, I just feel like it's, I don't know. It's just not the best. if you're gonna do seafood, get fish and chips. Go to that sushi place in Japan. Like if you're gonna do like seafood like that, there's other places than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of a tough sell in Epcot to go there.
Yeah.
With the other options.
Yeah.
You have.
Epcot's a hard place just because you have all the countries. So.
Well, folks, those are our best and worst at the 4 theme parks at Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando,
Did we do Disney
Florida.
Springs in our last episode?
We did not. No.
We're going to leave
that is kind of its own
there's
thing.
a lot to choose from. Yeah, it's kind of its own thing.
I don't remember, but I don't think we did
No,
Disney
I don't
Springs.
think we did either.
I think we kept it to the 4 theme parks. But there is a lot there, too, so we can do one for Disney Springs. Certainly, we can do a best and a worst with counter and maybe table service in the same episode and kind of talk about your options there. Anyways, we hope that you found this helpful, and it maybe will lead you to try a new restaurant or to maybe think about that person who tells you really need to eat at this restaurant.
I said that about Thai food, and then I loved it. Remember?
Everybody's a Disney expert, and they are going to tell you that like this is the best place to eat, but we're here to tell you that you should reconsider that sometimes.
I know. Spice Road is really high on the list for people. Like,
anyways,
they really like it.
Spice Road table is very good.
Okay.
I was really talking in reference to be our guest, but that's okay.
Oh.
Anyways, thank you all for listening and supporting us through another year of this podcast.
Yes.
This is our second Christmas, New Year's time with all of this. So pretty cool that we're still doing it and that people are actually listening to us.
Yeah.
I think that's the most amazing thing with the experience, that even if we don't hear from most of you, the fact that you look at the demographics and you look at the statistics and all that stuff and you see that people are actually listening, and people who we don't know are actually listening. Like we have a few family members that we know listen and we see you. But cool to know that complete strangers are listening to this too. So we thank you.
Really cool.
We appreciate all of you. And we want to wish you all, as we continue the Christmas season here, 12 days of Christmas. Christmas is not over technically, so we continue to celebrate Christmas. At least in our family, we continue to celebrate Christmas because we're still in the Christmas season. Mm-hmm. But also here in just a few days, depending on when you listen to this will post on Monday at 6 a.m. But chances are very close to the new year, and we want to wish you all a very happy, healthy, please, and safe new year for each and every one of you. And I hope that you get to go to Disney in 2025, which we are going to get to do. Very excited. 2025
we're getting down to our planning era, so we're gonna talk about all our actual itinerary and dining and fast pass selections and how we personally go through all that. So that's gonna be an exciting episode. We're gonna do it completely raw. We're not gonna talk about it beforehand. This is gonna be actual conversation and disagreements, I'm sure, that we'll have about certain things. But anyways,
we're looking forward to 2025.
It'll be really good.
And we hope that you and your family have a wonderful new year. So, with that, remember, folks, you can follow us on our social media accounts. Send us an email at startswithawish.podcast@gmail.com. And if you are looking to book your next Disney trip, vacation of any sort, at any of the many locations across the world, feel free to reach out to Rachel at rmello@mickeytravels.com.
Oh, yes.
And remember, folks, it all starts with a wish. We'll see you real soon.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year.